Over to you for an opening statement.
Yeah, good morning, everybody. Just looking forward to a Saturday here in Morgantown. Looking forward to a great crowd here to support a team that certainly needs all the support they can get. Great opponent coming in, highly respected coach in Grant McCaslin. I've always respected how he's handled his programs and built his programs, and excited to have them back in Morgantown.
Thanks, Coach. Our first question comes from Greg Hunter.
So Josh, you obviously got real good offensive production from Kerr and Raekwon, especially in the second half in your last game. How do you keep them moving in that direction, and how do you re-engage Jesse?
It's just a mentality. I mean, I think we've discussed this over and over. We just need more balanced scoring. We need everybody involved. It was great to have that type of scoring production out of two of the guys, but it probably needs to be, for us to be consistently successful, it's probably got to be 3 or 4 and a little more balanced. But those guys came out, and credit to our guys coming out in the second half and having a different mentality in the second half. We certainly had our opportunities to win that game and, make winning plays down the stretch, whether it be at the free throw line or a big rebound or whatever it may be. That was you can point your finger at a lot of different situations, but at the end of the day, we didn't make winning plays.
What was it that Jesse struggled with in the last game, and was maybe a double on him opening up room for Kerr and Raekwon?
Jesse, more than anything, he just needs to work, especially his balance. I think he was forcing a lot of things. He needs to slow down a little bit in the post and get to his spot, get to his balance, and slow down his game. You look back at a lot of his shots and his shot attempts there late. He wasn't even hardly getting, he was hardly getting his eyes on the rim and shooting that ball on the turn without having the patience that he needs in the post. So we spoke a lot about it this week, and hopefully, he has a different approach coming into this game on Saturday.
Next question goes to John Antonik.
What are some of the challenges you're going to face here on Saturday with Texas Tech? What do you like about them? What are some of the issues they cause?
They're solid defensively. They really get up in you and force the issue defensively. Joe, we all know who Joe Toussaint is and how he plays. He's a bulldog out there on the floor defensively. So he's gonna, I'm sure he's gonna come in with that chip on his shoulder coming back to Morgantown and try to wreak havoc. So we got to take care of the ball, especially, you got to be good with it. And, we only turned the ball over 6 times against Kansas State, but it wasn't too recently on that double road trip. You look back at the Iowa State game, we turned it over 23 times and they had 29 off our turnovers. So we did a lot better job of, shoring that up on a one day turnaround. But we have to be more consistent. So, they're really good. They're a slower paced team, really share the ball, run their sets, they don't get in too big a hurry. So, they're one of the better teams at taking care of it and sharing it and slowing it down and getting what they want, especially from an offensive standpoint. They try to get whatever mismatch they want and try to, look at who's subpar defensively, and they'll try to get that match and exploit it. So we're doing everything we can defensively or to try to slow that down from their perspective to understand that that's what they're trying to get to.
Guard heavy too, right? Pop Isaacs obviously is a guy that you're familiar with from last year. It looks like from their leading scorers, 4 of the top 5 are guards.
Yeah, they're guard heavy for sure. They had a critical injury and Warren Washington. We're not sure whether he's going to be playing or not. But certainly between Pop Isaacs and Joe Toussaint and one of the key guys, and not to mention Walton. Walton is shooting as good as anybody in the league at almost 50% from 3. So they're doing a lot more with him. The transition from Mark Adams to Grant McCaslin Grant's running him off a lot of action and trying to get him a lot more touches. So he's forcing his shot a little more than he did in the past. He was more of a standstill guy, but now they're running him off a lot of action to get him more involved this year. So, but you look at their box scores and they're a very, very balanced team. So, there's 5, 6, 7 guys right in that, if you look at it, that I think about almost 6 guys, 7 guys are at double figures scoring or right there close.
Questions for Coach Eilert, please use the raised hands feature. We will go back to Greg Hunter.
Josh, just sort of a year as a whole, it's hard to believe it, it was in the summer when you got appointed, but now you only have 2 home games left, 3 regular season games left. Just reflect on how quickly it's gone and what you've thought of everything as it's gone by.
Yeah, it was a flash that, every turn you had a different challenge. So we were trying to, you just get up each and every day and take the opportunity you're given and try to make the most of it. So, everything went really fast this year, especially when, the summer really didn't exist because it was just such a, you're trying to do everything you can to put together a really good roster that can compete night in, night out in this league. So we certainly had our challenges and we met them head on. It's certainly not where we'd want to be from a record standpoint. And, but I love the fight that we had in the second half against Kansas State. That's the type of resilience and the type of mentality I want our guys to play with each and every day, regardless of, the win-loss record. And I don't think that win-loss record defines myself, my staff, our guys. And that's my message to them moving forward. You can't let that define you. Let's just take the opportunity that we have each and every day and make the most of it.
So obviously some of these challenges were unprecedented, but just being a head coach, are there aspects that you didn't realize when you're a seat or 2 away?
Yeah, there's a lot more behind the scenes things that you're dealing with from a day-to-day standpoint that maybe as an assistant coach or as a support staff member you don't realize the head man is dealing with. So it's from the outside looking in, you probably see the challenges, but there's probably tenfold the challenges that you see from the outside looking in, and you just try to do the best you can, represent the university, the state as well as you can with high integrity, high character, and go about your business each and every day. I know it's we're about 9 months into my 10-month contract, and it's a short window to figure out what you can do to absolutely be the most successful team that you can possibly be, but also lead the program in the right direction.
Next question goes to Justin Jackson.
Hey, Coach. Good morning.
Good morning.
Hey, with Isaacs, last year as a freshman, kind of a dynamic player. He's taken a lot of deep shots, and sometimes he was maybe kind of go off script a little bit with him. Is that still the book on him, or do you see a lot of maturity in his game from what last year to this year?
There's very much a lot of maturity, and I think there was a lot more pressure on him last year to be that guy. So, he was a freshman. There was two freshmen in the starting lineup. If I remember right, Lamar Washington was also in the starting lineup. He's not getting nearly the time. But Pop was sharing the point guard duties, and they had a really young backcourt, and with adding Joe, with his experience and whatnot, it's kind of probably taken a lot of pressure off Pop and put him in a position where he's more a natural, shooting guard where he's, really cleaned up his game in terms of, being more efficient. But that was more probably looking back at it by necessity and with the way he played last year. So he's certainly more of a, more of a, you know, a solid piece to the puzzle rather than the piece to the puzzle, which he probably felt like he had to be last year.
Let's go to Bob Hertzel.
Josh, through all this, have you been able to keep any normalcy, reality in your life? And what have been the easy parts of it and the hard parts, I guess, as far as adapting to what you had bit off?
Well, the normalcy, you talk about, you know, what the normalcy is. I mean, what I can hang my head on every day is, you know, doing things the right way and carrying myself the right way and having high, you know, integrity and character about what I do. And you know, the one thing that's always a constant in my life is my family. I got a great wife that keeps me grounded and keeps things in perspective, and I got a great family to go home each and every night too. So just thinking about that, and you know, I got a 6-year-old that knows no difference between a win and a loss, and he's always there smiling and excited to see his dad every night. So, you know, they've done a great job of keeping me grounded and always being there to support me each and every day, which, you know, sometimes I try not to take too much work home, but the reality of the job is you have to in a lot of ways. So, you know, these challenges have been hard on everybody, and I think we did a great job from day one, navigating everything that we've had to navigate, and there's certainly been a lot of obstacles to navigate.
Thank you.
The queue is open. Any more questions for Coach Eilert? Greg Carey.
Josh, you've talked about the need to not fall behind by such large amounts before urgency kicks in. How do you get that, I guess, message to better resonate with this group and, you know, not play from behind so early in games by a large deficit?
Yeah, I mean, you know, the K-State one, we probably could have changed our defense a little earlier. You know, they hit 11 threes in that first half, and we weren't. I think we could point at 4 or 5, you know, chip shots that we had right at the rim that we didn't convert on. So you look at 11 threes, they were averaging 6 threes a game, and you know, you could say, okay, it's part of our defensive scheme, but about half of them had to do with, you know, individual critical errors in our defense, whether it be overrunning balls at half court or closing out on shooters that not even shooters. There might be a 12% shooter in the corner that we're closing out on that we should have, you know, left wide open and begged him to shoot. So you know, they made some shots, give them credit, but a lot of it had to do with, you know, our critical errors. But you know, we got to come out with to your question, we got to come out with a lot more intensity, a lot more, you know, hunger. And, you know, I had to have a very, you know, stern message with them at halftime to get them to turn that. So what that answer is each and every day, it's different, trying to keep guys motivated and understand that we always have something to play for. And we certainly do each and every day. We have an opportunity to represent you know, ourselves and our program and our university. So that's the message I continue to hit home on, and we're always playing for something. We're always representing something.
We'll go to Mike Kazaza.
Hey, Josh, kind of playing off that a little bit. You've said a couple times lately that, you know, before games or even during games that you've had the harsh words, the stern talking to, whatever you said there. And there have been responses, like both those road games. I think you said that you kind of were pretty brutally honest with them, and then they turned it around. Does that take time to figure out like how to present yourself there, how to speak to the players or to certain players? I imagine that's as much as like players learning their coach too.
Yeah, I mean, we're all new to this, and you know, sometimes you get hung up with the X's and O's and the schematics of how you're guarding certain teams and what your approach is offensively, and you get, you know, bogged down with that, and just as a coach, you never want to have to coach effort, and we've, you know, certainly there's times you have to, and we you know, we didn't get the effort in that first half against Kansas State, and there's also certainly some other areas and other games that we haven't got the effort that we've had to, you know, throw everything out and force the issue. Like, hey, we got to you know, have more attention to detail. We have to have more fire. We have to have more fight. So it's you know, as a new head coach, I'm learning every day. It's timing in life's everything, and it's not always about the X's and O's. It's sometimes it's just getting that fire out of them.
Any further questions for Coach Eilert? Coach, that looks like all we'll have for today. Thank you for your time.
We're good. Thank you all.